Good evening, and welcome to another ironic introduction to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about something I think Kabam should add to the game, and it's not game related actually, it's something to do with their delays, bugs, issues. So today there was a delay in the availability of the featured and basic arena, and this actually really negatively impacted me. Like many other people, I had a very busy day today. I know a lot of people have busy days all the time, but today in particular, I did have a wedding to attend, and so I knew I wasn't going to be able to grind like I normally am able to do, just because I would be busy. And I'm very glad that I was attending this wedding, but I am trying to go for a perfect streak in intermediate. It's something that if you watch my channel, you know that I'm very proud of and actively sacrificing a lot for. And so I knew that with the inability that I would have to play pretty much all day for 8 hours, that I wanted to get at least a 3 times ratio multiplier, as well as stick in my 5 stars and get those extra points, just because that would save me 15 or 20 minutes in the long run, which I know isn't a lot, but getting that rotation I have of 5 stars in does give me a pretty decent amount of points. And I set a period of time from noon to about 12:30, and in a half hour I could probably get 150,000 to 250,000 points, just by doing a rotation of my champions. And in the intermediate bracket, I have proven that getting 3 million places you in the top 15 very consistently. So 250,000 points is no small amount, especially when you're running a time crunch like I am, as I have to work these next 2 days, and I did have that busy day today. So delays are inevitable. That's a product of the game. I understand, but I would really like some kind of in-game notification, or some form of live update as to any issues. As I think that it was really frustrating for me to be sitting there refreshing my game, did I do something wrong? Did it not update properly? Do I need to uninstall and reinstall? And I was trying to figure out if it was my fault, an error on my game side, just to find out after I sent a support ticket in that it was a delay and there was nothing wrong with the game. It was just something that needed to be fixed, and it didn't take them long, only 40-ish minutes. I don't have an exact time as I was busy, but that still means that I wasn't able to get my rotation in, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who might take a lunch break right when the arena starts to get those, you want to get those 6-hour cooldowns going. So, right, if you're someone who, let's say you're in my time zone, and so it launches at noon, you start work at 8, and you work until 5, right? You jump in on your lunch break, you sacrifice that lunch break to get your 5-star rotation in, and then when you get off work, your champions are off cooldown. Well, you wouldn't have gotten that today because you would have been delayed. And I understand. I don't need a compensation package. I don't believe that something like that needs compensation. I just think it needs recognition. I think it needs to be acknowledged and needs to be sent out in an in-game notification so players like me who are actively searching for a problem can find an answer, like a live update just saying, hey, there's a delay in the arena. We're working on fixing this issue. Thank you for your patience. And so the reason I say reason I say that is because I know for a fact that it's incredibly doable. And I apologize for this black negative space here, but I play this game called Granblue Fantasy, and they have issues all the time. Just any mobile game has issues all the times. But look, they have an important note here that says, whatever bugs or things they fix, whenever they're like, hey, we know there's an issue here, they just say thank you for your patience. Now, Granblue Fantasy does typically provide a compensation package when they do this, but I don't think that's necessary. In this particular instance, this was kind of necessary as it was a really major interruption, but for the most part, small inconveniences, a half hour here or there, while it sucks, is not something I think needs compensation. So let me say that while it would be nice, I don't think that that is the point I'm trying to drive across here. I'm just trying to say that games like League of Legends has a live update of server availability and an in-game notification of things that are issues, bugs known, things that are disabled, etc. I think that's something that could be done in Marvel Contest of Champions. I think that games like Final Fantasy XIV have server live updates telling you whether or not a server is disabled for some reason. Like if you try to log in and you're like, oh, what's wrong? And you can click on the link and it will bring you to, oh, it's server maintenance, or we had something crash and we're working on fixing it, which still sucks as a player, but at least you know that it's not your fault, it's something in the game. Now, I understand there are a lot of complications here. So first, let me give you my interaction with Kabam support, because let me tell you, their response in the support ticket was absolutely amazing. Like, let me just applaud them for how great they were in response. And I've had great experiences across the board. So TLDR, I essentially just said, hey, I'm having issues with the featured and basic arena. They're not appearing. Is this something on my end? Do I need to uninstall, reinstall? Is this a known issue? Or is there a delay? In which case, is there anything that's being done to fix this? And they were like, thank you for reaching the Kabam support team. Blaze here, and I understand that you wanted to know why we rerun Iron Man Infinity War and Aegon Arena is still not up. I'm really sorry for the inconvenience this delay has given. As I check all of my resources, I can verify that there's just a slight delay, but we are happy to tell you that said arenas are already up. I know this was helpful. I hope this was helpful. Of course, if should you have any future questions or concerns, please feel free to submit another ticket. At that time, it was 101 when he responded, but I do know the arenas had came up a little bit earlier because I compulsively checked my phone for notifications, and I did get the notification that the arenas popped up again, I think around 12:40. So that was a really good response. I felt that I wanted to make my recommendation, so I responded to the support ticket with my idea of live notifications, and he responded, thank you for getting back in touch with us. I apologize for the inconvenience caused by the slight delay of the arena. I understand that you are providing feedback that there should be an in-game alert/message in cases like this. We are always interested in receiving feedback from our players, and your ideas can really help us make the game better. We have shared your feedback with the contest team. And then, which first off, like, that's amazing. They've repeated what I've said. They've showed that they've read my email, right? It wasn't a generic email. It specifically responded to what I said. I don't think this is something an AI could just mimic and read back. So I'm very grateful for that. And then they directed me to, one of the best ways to share feedback is to post your ideas on the forum. We have a great player community that loves to explain the details and design of Marvel Contest of Champions, often sharing solutions or suggestions that can make ideas even better. And then he gave me a link, expressed if I had further concerns, I could open another ticket. This is great support. I really do applaud it. And I am actually going to start a forum thread. That's what this video is about. I will include the link to this forum in the description. But let me give you an idea of what I would like to see. First, let me show you that indeed in the game there is no notification from Kabam about the delay in the arena. It just kind of popped up when it popped up, and it goes unnoticed. And for a lot of players, this will go unnoticed. 40 minutes is not the most amount of time in hindsight. You think about it, like, that's not so bad. But think about it from the perspective of people around the world. Like, perhaps noon and opening time is your midnight, right? If you're 12 hours away, and you're like, I have to wake up at 6 a.m. in order to go to work. But you're a dedicated player who absolutely loves Aegon. And why wouldn't you? Aegon is OP. You're trying to do a rotation before you go to sleep. You're going to sacrifice a little bit of sleep. Arena doesn't pop up on refresh. So you wait, and then sure enough, 40 minutes later, refresh happens. You do finally get your rotation in, but that's 40 minutes of sleep you lost in addition to your rotation. Or maybe you go to sleep and you don't get that. What happens 3 days from now when you don't get the champion because you missed out by a couple 100,000 points? It feels bad. That's what happens. And a notification from the game, an acknowledgement of this issue is, I think, something that would be critical to, like, the PR, like the perspective players have of this game. And I don't think it's something hard. So I will read my post to you, but feel free to just skip this part. I'll maybe, like, wave my hand to let you know if you're, like, just passing through the YouTube video, but I'm going to read the post. I will include the description if you want to go and comment on it with maybe better ideas or suggestions to improve it. But let me start by putting, like, the disclaimer that anytime you are trying to provide constructive criticism or improve the game in any way, shape, or form, or complain in any way, shape, or form, make sure you keep it constructive, make sure you keep it polite, and make sure that you do everything you can to ensure that you are not doing anything offensive, derogatory, etc. You do not want to make your post offensive. You are trying to improve the game. And if you're not trying to improve the game, or you're not trying to provide insight or beneficial, constructive criticism, then you shouldn't be making that post, because that's not beneficial to the game. All that does is get you ignored and flagged. You don't want that. So I am actually trying to provide something beneficial to the game, as I do see this in many other games. I think it would be beneficial. So today, 5/27/2019, there was a delay in the availability of the featured and basic arenas. I had obligations today. I had a wedding I was attending. My dad got married. It was a very good day. I'm very glad. I would much rather, and I don't regret going to the wedding. It was amazing. I don't regret not punching into the arena at all. But it still sucked that I set this block of time ahead. I made the effort of waking up 2 hours early so I could get ready for the wedding, and I would have this block of time, and I ended up just sitting there doing nothing. Sorry, but let me continue on the post. I had obligations today, and I knew I wouldn't be able to play much, but still wanted to get some points in, so I specifically set a block of time right at noon, as that was the only convenient time, 1 hour before a wedding I was attending. Now, I understand that delays are inevitable and that game issues are a reasonable part of any game. What I would like is an in-game notification alerting players of issues such as an arena delay or an acknowledgement of the delay in-game after the issue had been resolved. I'm not sure how the in-game alert system works on Kabam's side, so it may be that sending out an in-game alert about an arena delay is actually slower than actually resolving the delay. But a post-fix alert shows that the developers openly acknowledge the issue, and they can sign off with something like, "For live updates, please follow our Twitter link at blank," or any other third-party media outlet that would allow for simple and immediate notifications. Now, the reason I say that is it's potentially possible that if there's an arena delay, it's because there's a server issue. And if there's a server issue, then Kabam might not be able to send out a in-game message. But with that being said, use a third-party media outlet. We have the forum, right? You could post like live updates on the forum, which I did check for. I didn't see one, and if there is one there, please link it to me, because then I apologize for this, but I still think there needs to be the post in-game message, so players like me can be like, oh, there is a forum for live updates. I'm ignorant, and not ignorant like in a terrible way, just like I didn't know, because there's many things I don't know. But continuing on, for me, I was refreshing, uninstalling, checking forums, etc. to see if perhaps I was mistaken about there even being a featured arena, and the delay prevented me from getting a rotation in. I believe live updates about current issues such as delays and post updates in-game about bug fixes, etc., even if it's just blah 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 is being investigated. For more, please refer to blank forum, would be beneficial to the community and really show good faith from the developers. I can't edit that, unfortunately, just deal with the typo. I play many games that have a similar system to what I am suggesting. League of Legends, Grand Blue Fantasy, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV, to name a few. While not perfect, the attempt shows a dedication to the best possible experience for all players. Many companies, especially one that is making good money, like I know for a fact Marvel Contest of Champions is making money. You can dedicate a portion of someone's job to just making a live notification. Twitter, forums, something. I know they have that resource. I know it's not, and if they don't have that resource, I know it's not a difficult resource to have. Just a simple, we know there is a delay in the arena. We are working to resolve this issue. Thank you for your patience. Cut and dry. You don't need to send out a reward. You don't need to do any of that jazz. Send out that one message. Take you 30 seconds to a minute. Maybe who is ever working on the problem sends out that message. I think that would be beneficial to the community. If you agree, please go to this forum, like it. Maybe, I don't know how this works, if you like it or upvote it or tag people or whatever you do in order to make this visible. But this is something I think would be beneficial to the game, and it really disappoints me that it's not already in a game that's been out for 5 years. That seems kind of like an oversight to me. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe something like this exists. Please let me know if it does. And maybe you disagree. Maybe you think that it's unreasonable for me to ask for this. I'd love to hear why. Is because if I'm being unreasonable, I am accepting of constructive criticism. Do try to keep it polite, as I will probably just ignore anything that is presented as rude. I will read the message, but I will not respond, as I don't want to get into a detrimental argument. I'm not trying to fight with people, but I would love to listen to other reasons for people if they disagree with me, and I will put my argument forth, and maybe you can change my mind. I'm not set in stone on this, so if you have compelling reasons, I would love to hear them. Just again, keep it polite, keep it civil, and we can talk about it. Other than that, I know this is a longer video, but I do think this is really important, and I will talk to you later.